Quilty is brought to you by Baby Lock Sewing and Long Arm Machines. Baby Lock, for the love of sewing. Aurifil Italian thread, perfectly suited for all your quilting projects. Fairfield, together we can make beautiful things. Free Spirit, a new generation of creative and playful fabrics perfect for fashions, home decor, quilting, crafting, and more. Hovels Sewing, cut it close with Hovels. Moda, make something quilty with Moda fabrics. Thermoweb, manufacturer of heat and bond adhesives and new luxe interfacings, proudly made in the USA. Hi out there, welcome to Quilty. This is a Meet a Modern Quilter episode, and we are here with Heather Kinion. Yay, Heather Kinion! Heather is I think, an expert sewist. Would you consider yourself an expert?
I mean, I've been sewing since I was about 6 or 7, so I feel pretty confident.
Yes, you're a confident sewer, and you've sewn things for Quilty many times. Has been a hand in the background making the magic happen. And so we are going to talk to you about your quilts today.
Okay.
About your evolution as a quilter.
Sure.
Tell me about this quilt that we have in front of us.
Well, this was my very first quilt. I made it for a class I was taking that a friend of mine said, who I used to work in costume shops because I sewed garments for forever, with me said, you should take a quilt class. There's this great quilt shop.
Yes.
Go there and take it.
Quiltology. We used to film the show in Quiltology. That's how we met.
That is how we met.
Small town. So you took the class, and this was a pattern called Urban Amish.
Yes, this is their 101 class. I eventually ended up teaching that class.
Awesome.
But this was my first quilt.
I also took that class, not together with you, but I have an Urban Amish as well. It's a great first beginner pattern.
I still love this pattern.
Oh, it's
awesome.
It's
a great pattern if you like fabrics because you just pick a bunch of fat quarters. I've made about 7 of these from baby size to queen.
They go very, very quickly. And then I'm noticing all these fabrics. I mean, there's Kay Fassett, there's Amy Butler, like old school Amy Butler.
Old school Amy Butler.
That's another thing about keeping your quilts. You want to give a lot away, but your first quilts, you might not want to give them away because sometimes they're not as good as this. I think this is pretty good. But it also is like a time capsule. This is fabric you can't really get anymore.
Yeah.
It's
true. Some of it you can, some of it I have not seen in years.
Right. So we have another one, right?
True. Another Urban Amish. This one's from, I think, last year.
It's really cool.
And I actually used all the fat quarters that are mated up as decorations at our wedding. We had white tablecloths and a fat quarter and a vase of flowers. So
cool. You gave a fat quarter away or a bundle at your wedding?
No, I pulled fat quarters from my stash and would put them on the table under the big vase of fall flowers.
Okay,
so
I get it. But that would be great if you had a lot of quilters at your wedding. Stacks of fat quarters.
It's true.
At every dinner plate.
Because my quilt moms were invited to my wedding. My mom doesn't quilt, but these women are my quilt moms. They gave me very quilting presents from our wedding.
Nice.
Sorry, husband.
Yeah, right. Sorry, honey, I'll make you a quilt. But speaking of your husband, we're taking a look at this one next.
Yeah.
Tell me about this quilt.
This one I made with the purpose of putting on our bed because I'd made a bunch of quilts that I'd given away except for that one and was like, I need to keep one for me. So there's this really cool Benartex Michelle Demore collection called Habitat, which I love.
Cool. And
I used every single dandelion print from it for that, plus the polka dot.
And your husband had a hand in picking this, right?
Sort of. I took him to the quilt shop. I said, pick some bolts of fabric with colors you like, and he picked the gray on black and the black on gray.
Sure he did. But he might say, honey, you bring the color into my life. Sure. And you all got married just not too long ago, right?
About a year, a little more than a year.
Awesome. And now you're moving and all kinds of fun things happening. That's another way to commemorate time in your life. Making a quilt is a time capsule. I love this little quilt. And this quilt we may be seeing more of. What is this? This is your design.
Yes. Actually, I made a twin-sized version of it for a friend's nephew. My brother's best friend is like my fake little brother.
Okay.
And
fake little brother.
His niece, he wanted me to make a quilt for. I'd made a quilt for his baby niece, newborn, but he had an older niece who hadn't been around when I started quilting. And we did. She loved candy and the color blue were my directions, and I didn't find novelty prints with candy that inspired me. So I decided to make candy shapes and blue. So I actually call it Fatima's Sweet Tooth because her name's Fatima.
Fatima's Sweet Tooth. Well, you did a really nice job with the design challenge because when I think candy and blue, I think blue raz. Terrible, but you took it and you made it really great. Yeah, I wanted it
fun and colorful and bright and not too girly because she's not too girly.
And I want to look at the back, just flip it around here. You really went to town on the back and had fun.
Yeah, I used leftovers from it.
Yeah, I see this. I mean, you really patched stuff together.
I just kept adding things until it fit of stuff I had leftovers for.
I love that. The majority of your quilts you give away, correct?
A lot of them.
Yeah. When we talked about the show, I was like, do you have quilts right now?
I have a couple of friends who've commissioned baby quilts for me, but I either give them away or they pay me a little bit to make them.
And it's just the way we do it. I mean, we give these things away, and this one is about to be given away too. It's so fresh. We don't even have the binding. No binding yet.
Nope.
But that'll happen soon. This is for a kid too.
Yes, it's for a 5-year-old girl. It's for her big girl bed.
She's gonna freak out. She's gonna be so happy.
I think she'll be super excited.
You're so good at making baby quilts. How do you do that? Because I'm not that good at it. Like, what you try to put yourself in the mind of the kid?
Well, I love bright colors, first of all.
Clearly, yes.
So that's easy. And I don't know. There's so many great novelty prints. I usually go to like Robert Kaufman or Michael Miller because they have great ones. And I just pick like a novelty print and then I'll go from there. And I like polka dots a whole lot. So novelty prints and polka dots. There were polka dots in the other one. Those reoccur just because they're so fun.
That's a good tip because kids, you don't have to use novelty prints for a kid's quilt, but it can be a focus fabric.
Yeah,
for sure. Well, Heather, thank you so much for coming on the show, and getting to know you as a quilter has been almost as fun as getting to know you as a person.
Thank you.
So we will sew together soon, and we'll sew with you on Quilty. Thanks. Quilty is brought to you by Baby Lock Sewing and Long Arm Machines. Baby Lock, for the love of sewing. Aurifil Italian thread, perfectly suited for all your quilting projects. Fairfield, together we can make beautiful things. Free Spirit, a new generation of creative and playful fabrics perfect for fashions, home decor, quilting, crafting, and more. Hovels Sewing, cut it close with Hovels. Moda, make something quilty with Moda fabrics. Thermoweb, manufacturer of heat and bond adhesives and new luxe interfacings, proudly made in the USA.